Okay, good evening, folks. Welcome. This is the Liberia Public Radio. I'm Francis and so good to be back here this evening. So right here, today is Wednesday, and it's all things considered. And very shortly, the panel is going to be joining us right here to have a conversation. Just bear with me. We're having a little housekeeping going on right here, and very shortly we will get this program on the way. If you're just joining us, no matter where you are, we say good evening and welcome to the show. And we will get the program going very shortly. Let me just do a little quick housekeeping here, and we will get the information going very shortly. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Let me just get it to him. Okay, good evening, folks. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for being here this evening. Let's get the ball rolling. Welcome to the show.
For wedding, whatever fabric you need, you can just come over here. You have all this nice stuff. If you need ashebi, you guys can come over here for baby shower, for wedding. You guys are welcome. She had really nice stuff. You can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then Nicole will be telling you all kind of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fabric you're looking for and match it for the men. And, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and ashobi hair ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fabric Queen on Wooland, $66.95 off of Wooland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome. You have nice stuff here for ladies, for men, for kids, and for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia is 100% African-owned business. At Fabric Queen, we are specialized in high quality wax product, Swiss lace, jewelry, and beauty products that will make you shine like the queen of fabrics. We are located at 6625 on Woodland Avenue, 10 Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-800-0228. Tell the management of Fabrics Queens in Philadelphia is easy and salt of the Liberia Public Radio gives you this message. Tell all Akwaba.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I'm a customer of Uncle Musa. I came here to get some things from grocery. Their things are so nice. They never get expired. They are the best quality. They have the best price ever anyone can get. They have so many things like cream, like meat, a lot of kind of meat. We have so many kind, and it's the best grocery store I've ever seen here in Wood. We are located at the 65th and Woodland. If you want, I really appreciate you guys to come over to come and patronize with us because they sell the best quality.
Uncle Musa's Groceries on Woodland Avenue, 6523 Woodland Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. Musa's store is composed of varieties of African food as well as Americans, but predominantly African food. You have dry fish, you have cassava, you have yams, you have plantains, bananas, and Musa even goes out of his way to pay people extra to cut the potato grains for customers to save them extra time. We have a deeper, we have a fufu, we have the refrigeration center, then we also have cosmetics. This is a place to come in Philadelphia. If you come to Philly, you don't reach to Uncle Musa's groceries, you have not made your trip complete. Welcome, and we look forward to seeing you sponsoring our business. Thank you.
This is Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. It's the only store, a grocery store, that deals with African stuff. Anything African thing, you can get in Uncle Musa's store. I am from Igbo in Nigeria. So, ndị Igbo dum, onye ọbụla wụ onye Igbo, ya bịa na Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. Ọ ebe ọ ga-enweta anything we ihe ndị Igbo na-eri.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The business, we have a business on grocery store or African food, all West African food, from Liberia, mostly Liberian food. And we have a palm oil imported from Liberia, and we have a very good customer service. If a customer buy from Uncle Musa Grocery, you get bonus certain times, and things are very reasonable. We have a good palm oil. Anything you want from Africa, West Africa, you can get it from Uncle Musa Grocery. We do retail and wholesale. So you can visit, and we have a couple of stores in Philadelphia. We have one on 6523 Woodland Avenue and another one.
Good evening. Okay, good evening, folks. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Nevertheless, within the ruling establishment, the Chief of Protocol of the Executive Mansion, who happens to be the right-hand person of the President of the Republic of Liberia, is being accused of drugs importations in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. We are keeping track of the developing news, and what we are hearing, we'll be telling you exactly what is unfolding, what we know now, though the authenticities of this information yet to be verified. Our team of contributors, analysts are all standing by. They will be joining me here very shortly. And of course, you as audience participant, follower, you will also have your say into this conversation. It's good to be back here, right here at the New England Bureau Desk of the Liberia Public Radio, with 27 days to go to the presidential and legislative elections in Liberia. Who's who and where are we? Let's get the ball rolling right here, right now. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on your locations. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Welcome to the show. This is All Things Considered. Every Wednesday right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet, LPR. Be the first to know, keeping the news fair, balanced, and proportional. This is the building. The official residence of the presidency of the Republic of Liberia is being heavily contested with just 27 days to go. News coming out of Liberia. one of the close-hand persons of the president. That's the chief of protocol of the Republic of Liberia Executive Mansion. That is to say, Ambassador Finna Bono is allegedly being accused of drugs importations in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. We are now hearing nevertheless is within the ruling establishment. A lot has been heard. We are getting more development news. We're going to be having this sort of conversations. Where are we in this consequential presidential and legislative elections in Liberia? Who going to capitalize on this? Well, the president or the CDC, or who was being used as a sacrificial lamb in this year. We are getting more development, talking to sources inside Liberia. We now know the gentleman that's the is director of the Roberts International Airport, Fremont, aka our own guy, Livingstone. We now know we can now confirm he is no longer in the custody of the DEA. We learned late this evening a convoy. We yet to know to establish where, which direction, but we are getting more information as to where this drug is coming from allegedly. We yet to verify those information, but we're going to be having this conversation here, what it means into this 27 days to go to the presidential and legislative elections in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Legendary Jones Otavia Malice is joining me here in the city of Pawtucket, right here as well in the Ocean State. I'm going to be breaking hints and let's hear what he has to say. And other folks going to be joining me here. If you are just joining us here, we say good evening, good morning, welcome to the show. Let's me bring in Malice Moon, is a senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Jones, good to be back here. Good to see you. And was really spinning because the Liberal was doing things on this network here, which was not incompatible with the philosophy of this network. This is LPR. We make news fair balance. But he took this network to be his own personal total-time property, which is not the case. But I'm back. And we're going to have this conversation. Good evening. Welcome.
Well, we need to welcome you. You've been away for some time on what I call a positive sabbatical. And welcome back.
Yeah. Okay. What am I getting echo here? Something. Hold on, let me see. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping here. Hopefully something is not. It's not. Yeah, I'm not getting anything here. All right. Hopefully I'm good. Okay, Mr. Jones, good to have you here. Let's have a conversation. Hey, are you still getting the echo, folks? Are you guys getting the echo from me?
Yes.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on here? Something to when he's involved in something. Okay, just hold on. Let me get myself off the screen and see what.
Okay.
See here. Is it still there?
No. They're much better.
Yes, something. Yeah, here I seen somebody say the echo. So where is this echo coming from here? This should not be here. The Liberal is always in the tendency of I don't know that white ninja or black ninja. Okay, let's see. Hopefully we're gonna manage it. Okay, 27 days to go. There's nothing is on here. So where is this coming from here?
You still getting the echo?
Let's get a conversation. The most hottest news has surfaced. The drug issue here is not going away. I don't know what this means, what are going to change the narrative, but we are hearing a lot of information right now. Livingstone, Fremont was initially taken, but we now know we are hearing, according to sources that we talked to from the year, he's no longer there. In fact, he demanded that he wanted to talk to the president. That took a time. We get to verify whether that happens, but Lloyd Livingstone, who he is, he was still holding up. But at this present time, we cannot say he's no longer in the custody or facility of the DEA, where he's taken yet to be established. But how significant is this news, knowing what we know? And at this time, the timing is wrong. A couple of months ago, we were talking about other folks close within the proximities of the president, Nathaniel Falamagi, Bekubeb Jr., the Solicitor General. Here we are, the Chief of Protocol. Imagine the day of Samuel Dold, Adolphus Dorrit involved in this with 27 days to election. What it all means. Let me just bring you in here. What is happening right now? What are you hearing from yourself? The sound is really bad. Okay, Kennedy, I'm trying to see. I'm not sure. I'm trying to see where is this for the.
Yeah, this sound is getting the bad feedback.
Yes, so I'm trying to see. Hold on one second. I'm trying to see where is it coming
You don't want to
from.
reboot. You don't want to reboot it.
It says, Franco, your sound is a sound still horrible. Please, somebody just the echo is too loud. Okay, you say the echo is too loud. Where is it coming from? Is it still bad? Somebody just give me a thumbs up because I don't want to switch the host system off to as well. Then that would be it. I've checked around here and there's no other device. Let me see here. The show is the best. Yes, too, but too much echo. Okay, let me see here. Are we still getting the echo? Something to the show is the best. All right. Probably let me see if we can do a restart. It means we're going to start it because it won't make no sense if the folks that are supposed to hear or if they are not hearing us and then we are having issue. Franco say the echo is still there.
Yeah, let's do the
So
restart.
let me
Reboot.
see here quickly here. What is going on here? I'm not seeing any other side device or system that is on here. Sure. Okay, let me bring in the Libra here. Okay. What is that? So I think we would not do our audience favor if we having this echo here. So I want to see it to see what I can have it restarted. Is that something? Does that make sense? Are you guys still getting Terry and Victor? Are you guys still getting the echo, or is it good now? Because we won't. Okay, all right. I'm hearing Franco say, "Okay, Frank, thank you. It's stopped now." Yeah, I am about to throw you out of this program right now. I am about because you all look. What is this? Okay, let's get started. Okay, guys, thank you so much, Terry. Terry, I'll send the link as well to you. Franco, thank you so much. Very, very helpful, and all of you that kind of give our heads up because sometimes we don't have producers. One person doing 55 things at the same time simultaneously. So sometimes they become crazy and we do stuff here. Okay, the Liberal Progressive. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. So. Welcome. I am here just to let you know. Do we still have echo? No, the Libra is on. No more echo.
This guy, he likes attention. But on a serious note, I want to say thank you so much. And to the rest of the crew, I was inside Liberia that I was always monitoring. You say the Terry, the Amos Sawyer training from right here, Pawtucket, who is now being initiated. I'm not sure whether he's within the Liberal wing or wherever he is. You brought in another Minnesota politician. He's guy, which is okay. But I just want to say thanks to all of you guys and even our followers, our supporters for still keeping hanging there. I was getting a lot of complaints of you. I took this network to be like a personal thing of Town, and more or less you bikerize it. I would say, let me create a word here this evening. You can check it up in any entire dictionary or whatever. But notwithstanding, I would say thank you so much for the commitment and for keeping this wheel, this industry turning. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. However way you classify it, we're here to make sure that we are the counterbalance of whatever it is you think you're getting ready to do. You and the conservative will have no free ride on this show. So I just want you to know that. I just want you to know that the liberal is here, and with the help of many other family of LPR, I was able to, but most importantly, on a very serious note, most importantly, the audience, they are the people that you really, really need to thank, because then, despite my liberal behavior, many of them were agitated, what have you, couldn't wait for you to get by, but they never shied away. They stay with us. I think that's a real understanding. Maturity has grown with this LPR family. And so with that understanding, they were with us. They were with us day in, day out.
Why would you stop this sort of behavior? Why are people
Mr. So, I'm a liberal. I'm not here for kumbaya, but the audience, they were, they most of them, like I said, they were agitated as me for many, many days. We can't wait for Mr. So.
Do they have reason to do that?
No, they don't. No, they don't. The liberal has he must be allowed to express himself freely. He cannot be hijacked or try to somehow take into the
Hold on 1 second. Jones, how can you came and I will getting feedback now? Can you check your system and see whether something is open?
You sure? Hakeem, are you getting the feedback?
When you're talking, it's okay. But when I'm talking, then is something. Something is I think that where this trouble came from.
Okay. Is it still there?
Unless when I'm talking. You see, when I'm talking, I'm getting my voice.
Okay. I think the county try to live up to a expectation tonight, but however, we're going to double down. We should have doubled down tonight. Tonight, I think Babu going to devour cola somehow, someway.
No.
So let me see. Let me take you off here and see. If I take you off, yes, when he's talking. Yeah, exactly. That was like, okay, let me bring in Terry. Let me see what I can get word from Terry. Terry is a senior contributor to the Liberia Public Radio. Support the candidates.
So the Liberal just giving you rundown. As I stated. So let me land. You're not going to come from Liberia and bring that Liberia behavior on this platform. We're going to have to watch you for days because you're still agreeing to the Liberia behavior, and we'll try to watch you for a day. But as I was saying, the audience were with me. Even though they accused Terry and I of trying to make this platform a boycott platform, which is not the case, and we were just expressing our own view and whatever we believe in, and they're not going to push us around. But no, on a very serious note, Mr. So, sometimes we have these platforms, we come out here, run our mouths and what have you, and people don't have to watch. But every day, people, they have a lot of things to do, but still they tune into us. And I really I was waiting until you get back for me to express that. I really appreciate the audience. In as much as they were agitated by my behavior, whatever they thought I was doing, and but they never stopped watching. And I think it's the same. I always say, you do good when people are not watching you, then that's a real good. But when you're waiting until everybody start watching before you want to do good, these people, the audience of LPR, they was amazing, and I want to take it up to them. However, I'm a liberal. I am not here for kumbaya here, but I appreciate them. Let them continue to watch out.
Yeah, Jones, I think this problem is coming from your end.
The liberal, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Once you're off the air,
I have my camera on. I put it off.
No, something is not right.
Yeah.
Because
y'all need help, y'all let me know.
No, you see.
Okay.
Now, if I'm moving,
put me off again. Let me see.
Good.
See, when I put it off, the audio is perfect, right? Yeah, but as soon as he comes in,
so Malice need to go onto his
system. What I want you to do?
No, listen. When you put me off, The echo is still there.
No,
Because
no.
I can hear you talking.
Malice, you need to go to your system setting. When you go into your system
What you do,
setting,
restart your system and then come back in and I'll send you the link. Let's see what happened. Because once you come in, then the echoes, it comes back. No, it's not. Is it clear now, Franco?
Is it clear now? Because I shut
No,
down
I'm hearing my
a lot of my
voice. I'm hearing
connectivity.
something coming back. It's not right.
Eh?
I'm still hearing. I shouldn't be hearing myself. I should only hear myself from the. So what is the thing to dance about now? Yeah, you see it
I
now.
just told
So
you.
share your system down and see whether you can come back. Once you come in, then it's having an issue. Okay, just do it. All right. Okay, Terry, good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. So. Good evening to every one of you guys.
All right, and I want to say kudos to you for really the commitment. You've been following this network for a very long time, caller, and eventually you come up. And this is what we want, whether we agree or disagree. Even though you get a body here now, so you guys doing your own thing, but which is okay. It's not clear yet.
My
It's
body
not clear
can
yet.
always pivot. My body can always pivot. So
the man say he's not trusted. Anything can. So you gave.
No, I like Mr.
No.
So because he's honest with his opinion. He's balanced. He tried to be balanced.
Listen to Willie. You see, these are some of the things I'm talking. Listen to Bill.
No. Don't count. Hello.
To promote the Unity Party. What is this, Bill?
Excuse me. We're in a new day, please. You need to start forcing. Let the people speak their mind.
Let him speak his mind.
You say you're liberal, but your behavior doesn't sound like a liberal behavior. When everybody it goes in your skin. Okay, guys, let's get the program going. There's something serious happening. Look, gentlemen, 27 days for consequential process. This is the bill they are heavily been contested. Bill 1961, 64. It was opened by the Vietnamese or whatever it is. But here we are again. And I'm saying again because we went down this far before, where 3 confidants of the president or high-profile officials. Here we come again, chief of protocol to the president, executive mansion, is allegedly involved in it. And we can now confirm based on people that we talk to, Livingstone is no longer in the custody of the DEA as a reporter. It is true, he was taken there temporarily. And we have been told he demanded, Livingstone, popular name, people know him of. He demanded that he wanted to talk to the president. He's out of that. But what this all means, since all of these documents been saturated on the social media that involve the chief of protocol to the president of the Republic of Liberia within this injury and strapitans of this consequential election. And interestingly, we are now hearing, however, this information yet to be authenticated. These drugs we are talking about, they came from France. We have been told by a close source here in the U.S. as well. They were meant to be directed in the southeast side, but because of an airport area, they were meant to have sent on that side and been brought into Monrovia by Water Road. That did not happen because of the airport condition. Here we are. What is going on within the world of the ruling establishment? What do you think is the president or even the top surrogate are non-processing considering what happened? Or will it be the same old thing that we have been saying before in the past? Or any game changing going to take place?
Yeah.
Mr. So, if I may get in here. Look, this is my own feelings on this whole thing. You've seen lately the president is campaigning with McGee. Phenomenal is going nowhere. The president and the many Liberians will not even view this whole drug issue as being nothing to them. Only those of us in the diaspora are the one that worrying about this thing as much as the people over there. They're not. The campaign season, the campaign period will go on, and Vincent Bono will continue to hang with the president. And because there is no punishment, there is no, accountability. And they've seen that with the U.S. put sanction on people. And this person most likely will be next senator in the upcoming Senate. And also, the president has been campaigning along with this same.
Because GOL, I hate to interrupt, but because GOL did not request from the U.S. government why the sanction was put into place in the first place.
Yes, that's true. But the point, the larger point that I'm making here, Mr. So, is this. If the Liberian people themselves, if they were to put their foot down from day one, that this man was sanctioned because the American believe he was hurting our country and therefore he must be called to order, that would have happened. But many Liberians, including the legislature, nobody was saying anything. They allow, instead of pushing the issue on the neck, to say this man cannot be certified, this man cannot run, because this is the person that was accused. And if you guys want him to run, let him first of all vindicate himself. He has not done that. And the lawmakers, the Liberians, many Liberians have said nothing. Only those of us in the diaspora here that have this platform and thing are worrying about it. People in Liberia, they're not worrying about it. But I pray and pray heavily that Mr. Livingstone will be okay, because I think in Liberia sometimes things can go bad way. So I pray that he will be okay. And if he's okay, if he's out of jail, I will pray that he finds his way out of there now, because this is not going to turn out to be good. I'm not talking about his life.
I'm not saying he's out. What? What you say, Jones?
He said he can't hear.
Are you not hearing us?
Okay. No, he can't hear you. So what I'm going to do, you want me to get off the air and go on to work with him on TeamViewer and get his system going?
Are you going to cause more harm, or you think you're going to wait?
Okay, well, I don't do nothing against that. Saying him, he come from Liberia, you're Liberian people, you can't tell people thank you. I'm not doing nothing. I said it now.
Jones, are you not hearing us? Then you need to. Okay, Terry, let me just bring you in. You listen to the LIBERIA. Let me just get a reaction. How significant regarding this? He's saying nothing going to happen. Okay, if nothing is happening to Vincent Bono right now, the chief of protocol, what will be the electorate's reactions or sort of kickback as well, if nothing? Because this is the drug issue is a serious crisis in not just only Liberia, all over the world. And where there's a drug, it's all about money. We all know this country is one of the challenge here that the Biden administration just increased the combat against drugs of $42.5 billion. $1 billion. Right? So they are not taking it lightly. Even if we are taking it lightly on our side, it is a dent on GOL, the government of Liberia. Even we all know the huge bust the other day. We don't know how far you are going. Yeah, we are again people close within the proximity of the president. And the Liberal said nothing going to happen, and he has all right to say that because we, from past experiences and things that we have seen. But how significant this process with this election just close on hand?
Yeah, I think that it's going to be the president needs to act and act speedily, because it's going to, if he don't act the way we expect him to act, it's going to cost him these elections, because we have 3 more weeks towards the elections, and all of a sudden, your chief of protocol is involved with drug bust saga. Is not looking good, both for your campaign and for your re-elections. Because you see, one of the ways to fight these things, drugs comes along with crimes, it comes along with prostitution, and it comes along with poverty. These 3 things work together. So it have criminal association, it have Prostitution Association. So in order for you to tackle this issue, it would take time. And I don't think President Weah have that luxury of time on his hands. One of the ways Ellen, I believe, was able to curtail the drug in Liberia, even though she couldn't eradicate it, she opened an avenue wherein the economy was open. People started bringing in motorcycles. So people started riding motorcycles and generating money. Because when the proliferation of drugs can also be as a result of poverty. So when people start generating money, when there's a means of income, people will be able to resort into not seeing drugs as an option to just get high and forget about the day. So she was able to curtail and control the drug addicted guys in the street by opening the economy to motorcycle business, which also helped to control drugs in some way or manner. But you must also understand that if there is a high level of drugs, there is also a high level of poverty, there is also a high level of crimes, and there is also a high level of prostitution. So I don't think President Weah have a lot of luxury of time to deal with the issue, but the first thing we expect him to do right now is to suspend or fire Finabono. I will go with suspend, pending investigation, because what we're seeing out there, I think you saw it too, all on the media, and tomorrow is going to blow up worse, is that what we're seeing, it don't look good for the president.
Okay, it doesn't look good for the president. Liberia, you did hear Terry saying suspend his FIA, and then let us also say suspend. So if you were president of the Republic of Liberia in this sort of convoluted situation at this crucial time where you should keep focus on your campaign to be re-elected without any sort of distractions taking place. Interestingly, if this information is true that we are hearing now, that's just coming from France. Now, the possibility of the French government also investigating who is the sender, from where it's coming from, and where it's going. And we are being told it was directed to go to the southeast side in order perhaps to be transported to Monrovia, but the airport system and everything there, it mess up. So who knows whether there has been the routine, we've yet to know. But what do you agree with him? First of all, what should the president be doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, if this president were a president of someone that
Mali, your system is not working tonight. By the time you come in, restart. I think the liberal are pressing your water. Yeah, the liberal pressing your water so badly. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, as I was saying, if this president, on a very serious note, Terry is quite correct. Only if this president was someone that will put the country and the people first. But ever since President Weah came to power, except for a few times, and that's something that I'm troubled about, and I'm somehow that don't have words to describe it sometimes, because this is the same president before becoming president of the Republic of Liberia. I believe he very deeply cared for the country and cared for the people. But when he became president, he decided to relax, and these people allowed these people to put in the bubbles. So most of the people, they most likely have a lot of stuff on him that he cannot afford to fire or even dismiss. I mean, or even suspend any of these people. The only reason why I've said that McGill
will he put his political career on the line because I mean we're seeing the document. We're here to verify. But
Mr. So I don't mean to interrupt. The documents are there. On Spoon TV today, those documents was being displayed. You want to tell me up to this time that Finabono have not been told you're fired or you're suspended?
You know how the government, because lately we're being told It was the American with United Nations. Liberia does not have the capacity. When the first it was reported here, they went and did a testing, and that's how they agree when the Minister of Justice sent that statement. That makes it much more serious than what I thought to even to have disclosed that, and that's how. What happened was late this evening, yesterday, the men to have gone to the custom warehouse, but before they got there, other people perhaps who the system, the system is a big system. There are some people who would never be happy, who are against certain things, who are not getting a law for a variety of reasons. Before they could get there, those people were finished getting hold of those documents, and how they just came into circulation to get out that visit. But I make your point, and I will just play this short interview with Livingstone, which is a really hair scratching issue. But go ahead first.
No, the point that I was making, the president is not going to fire anybody. Finambono is still hanging around, and the president have trusted Finambono so much that he cannot and will not fire her. Now, let me make this last connection here. This is where, when they push away the vice president, who is a female of Liberia, this is what coming back now. The rooster is coming. I mean, the chicken is coming back to roost now. In other words, when they push this vice president away from the beginning, they were unable to. I mean, she was unable to connect with a female counterpart or female.
Where is this one coming from?
Let me finish, Mr. So, if she was involved from the beginning, and being the vice president and female vice president, she would have been able to have some sort of a relationship and connection with many of the female partisan or female cabinet members in the association. I mean, in the administration. I bet there's no relationship. You have not seen her and the gender minister walking hand in hand. You have not seen her and the port authority person walking hand. You have not seen her with the fishery authority person walking. So you have not seen her with the minister of public work. And these are some of the reasons, I believe, because the fact that now that she's close to them, if they have done that from the beginning, she would have been part of that group. And perhaps these type of stuff would.
What is the correlation with this whole drug issue?
The whole drug. The point that I'm trying to make is because I believe that lady, the first lady, if she has had some sort of a connection with these people, relationship with these people, this has not gone this far. She would have interjected. She would have been able to get some information and explain to them this is not going to work because these things don't turn out right. But because she was pushed away and she had no clue. And yet, Finambono will her name all over this thing, and the president is still campaigning with her, and there's nothing you can do.
Okay, well, that's your view, that's your opinion. Vehemently
disagree with that. Which I'm entitled to, Mr. Conservative. Which I'm entitled to. You can say that. Say this is your view, and you are entitled to it.
Okay, yes, because I don't see no connection there. And this is how you kind of pollute conversation on this network. It's ridiculous. Terry, hold on. Let me go to Atlanta, Georgia here. Man, Aaron here. Aaron, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Soul. How you doing today?
Good. How are you? Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I'm doing great.
Okay.
The reason why I call, with all due respect, I got a lot of respect for Mr. Sampson Toll. Okay, for him to sit on the platform and say this document was revealed on Spoon Network today. Who is Spoon to get such a sophisticated document? I want for Mr. Toll to go to the Liberian Aviation Authority's website and let him look at the web bill that is there and compare it to that nonsense that Center was showing of his network today. Okay? Stephenson will call this show. If Stephenson is listening to me, I appeal to him to call the show and publish the actual document to you guys. The actual document will be on the closing argument tomorrow. So before we come on this, and at the same time, Mr. Toll did to the platform when you were gone, he made the platform to be for himself. All they did was promote Joseph Walker every night. That's what they did. But it's not my problem. That's his platform. I don't care what he does to his platform. But my thing is, to be a journalist, you got to know how to investigate before you come up with stuff. You're talking about Finabono name all on this stuff, and the president is parading with Finabono, or the president is parading with Nathaniel Magay. But you forgot to know that Joseph Boakai is parading with, how they call him, or Prince Johnson all over the place. Okay? But you leave that alone. You want to talk about what the president is doing. Finabono never, it's all lies. The document that Clinton got is fake. I even made a comment on his page today that he will be exposed tomorrow. And we will call the DS office in Florida and send the original document there because he's lying and those things have the propensity to cause chaos in the country. He's not supposed to be doing that. Who is Clinton Waterspoon to get such a sophisticated document with this kind of magnitude investigation going on? We all agree the drugs issue in Liberia is really, really bad. Okay? We got to come together and start to politicizing this stuff and try to work together as Liberians to alleviate the drug proliferation in our country. Right. Because it's getting worse. Okay? It's getting worse. So to come out and just conclude that because Senator Waterspoon displayed a document, I don't even want to go to Senator Waterspoon's own charity, but as an investigator or as a journalist, you got to be able to look up credible sources before you even come on your platform and try to speak on what they say on their platform. That's all I'm saying. So you guys need to be careful on the show. You promise to let him be very careful on the show because Finabono is innocent until proven guilty. Or the thing that Senator Waterspoon doing is all lies. Who's going to import drugs and go on a campaign trail? Does that make any sense to us in the United States? We need to stop that, please. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aaron. And that's a very good observation. I don't usually like to quote because the system, the politics in Liberia is polarized. All of these people that have their own network, there are so many ways of propaganda. If you know the different types of propaganda, they get these things that appears to be good or appears to be authentic. They are not. But I'm waiting for the official comment of the government of Liberia. And based on the excerpts of the interview that I heard, which injected the chief of protocol name, so I'm waiting to maybe the Ministry of Information from now to tomorrow. We don't know yet. However, Livingstone was called in, and we were being told that he was let go. But where he went to, where he is right now, that we cannot verify. We cannot say. But let me just bring you in here, Terry. You listen to Aaron.
Yeah. You know, Aaron is saying that the government have a position, the government have a stance, but also is it true that Finabono name have been mentioned in the drug bust? We got to look at that too. That's one aspect. Right. Secondly, is it true that the custom office was raided? Well, I mean, not raided, but was broke into. You know, I saw a video, I saw something on Facebook, I saw it on front page newspaper. All right, not Spoon Talks. Front page newspaper is highlighting that that armed robbers broke into the custom office and all that kind of stuff. So there are so many confused things going on right now on this thing. Once, as a president, once your chief of protocol name is mentioned in drug bursts like these, the first thing you will want to do is to suspend the person, especially as we are going towards elections. You want to suspend the person and say, okay, you know what?
Then I won't agree with you, Terry. Why elections? Why suppose there were no elections? Should we allow people that are close within the proximity of the president to be involved? I do agree there must be some sort of administrative hold pending full investigation by the Joint Security, the Ministry of Justice, police, and all other law enforcement agencies that are connected. Why would you want to tie elections-related issue to it? So what happened? There's no election. Now we should have people to just bring in anything that they want to bring in. Is that what you're saying?
I totally agree with you too, Mr. So. But what I'm saying is this is a crucial time for his election. So if he was never serious, like all the times, Mr. Toh said, he has not been able to handle some major problems in the country. This time he should be more serious because he want to be reelected. So if you want to be reelected and your chief of protocol name came up in a job burst, the first thing you will want to do is to suspend the person, even if it was not true, even if it's just a scandal. Once her name came up, it post threat to your election, it post threat to your position as a statesman and all that. So the first thing you want to do is to suspend her as she go through the investigation to show transparency to the country at large. All right. Because it's alleged. It's alleged. People saying her name was involved. Now we're seeing this guy, the living water spoon guy, who was previously investigated, like you said, you're going to play the video, to see his contradictions. That he said that he didn't mention her name, but there was contradiction in his statements. Later on, the government said it was T. Later on, they went through the testing. They found out that it was drug, it's meth.
It was the head
So
of
it means that
the U.S. Embassy, United Nations. They did that testing, and they were able to validate that it was not a T as projected initially reported, which Minister Frank Musa Dane before giving that press statement. Okay, let me hold you there. Let me see. Evis here. Evis, are you there? Good evening. Let me see.
Good evening, Mr. Show, and welcome back.
Okay, let's see here what our man Jones here again. Jones, are you there? It's not working. It's not working at all tonight. I don't know what's going on.
You getting it?
Yeah, I'm getting you. Let me just put the other people here. I hope I didn't go. Yeah, okay, Evis, are you there? Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was saying, welcome back and hello to the other criminals. First of all, anybody who is, smuggling drugs into the country, when they're, investigated and proven guilty.
Guys, are we having echo there again? Yes, it is. It is there again. I think I have to pay a special courtesy call on you, Jones. You're not working with us tonight. Yeah, go ahead, Evis. Sorry.
Right, those people should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I want to clarify, in this country we have what we call crystal meth. We know what crystal meth is. It's a very, very addictive and destructive drug to the human body. Most people think that's what was formed in Liberia. It's not true. It was methadone. Now you can argue that methadone is used to make crystal meth, but it's also used for pharmaceutical drugs. You find methadone in a lot of these prescription drugs that we have in the United States. So it's an element that's in a lot of prescription drugs. So just having methadone itself is not an indication that it is quote unquote crystal meth and thereby it's some kind of drug deal. It's not like heroin or cocaine or some drug that is already formulated. You can make crystal meth from methadone, but methadone itself is not a illegal drug that you're not supposed to be having. So let's just clarify that point. And Mr. So this platform, the reason some of us come on this platform, we watch this platform, even though
So hold on one second. The point you are clarifying, is that a clarification from the GOL or is that your own personal perception?
I read the story that the author from this article. It said methadone, not crystal meth. That's the clarification. I'm not sure if you yourself are connecting that dot. Crystal meth, methadone is found in crystal meth, but the same thing can be found in prescription medicine. If you look at most of these prescription bottles, you'll see methadone in it. A small dose of methadone is put in a lot of prescription medicine. So methadone itself is not quote unquote a drug that you can inhale and get high from. It's a substance that's added to other substances. I'm not a chemist, but it's a ingredient that is added to pharmaceutical drugs, but it can also be used illicitly for street drugs like crystal meth. That's the point I'm making. So it wasn't crystal meth that was found in that building. You're constantly selling on a corner of the United States. That's the clarification I want to make. But then lastly, I want to I just want to monitor the platform. Don't echo somebody that's thinking with his phone, who's going on his platform and thinking to exaggerate information. You can have all the numbers, but we know he has to discredit that platform. He himself cannot be, trusted when he's giving out information. Even if there's 1 ounce of truth, he will amplify and try to make it seem like it's more there than actually is. So please, Mr. Joe, we respect this platform. Yes, we're not the quote unquote biggest platform, but we come here because we know we're going to get reliable information But please don't echo Stanton because we know his agenda. We also see it from a mile away. So we don't want this platform to be an echo chamber of Stanton. But thank you. I didn't want to make that clarification. Maybe other people can tell me.
Exactly. We'll always try to be ourselves. I mean, even if it comes from LPR, it has to be verified. It doesn't mean like can't distribution, and that's a very good observation. Let me go to Connecticut there, 203, I believe it's Keto. Keto, are you there?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. So, thank you and welcome back.
Let me see
So,
here. Let's see.
the last caller, Evans, just explained exactly what I was about to say, because sometimes we want to
get me echo.
Then we have to tackle it on this
No,
much better.
I'm going to defend
much better.
Yeah, the car take on the bed.
If there are drugs that is smoked in the country to help further damage our young people, I would never, because it is dangerous to our society and we should condemn it. But in the same time, we should not listen to his full TV. Let me tell you something. They got a place in Liberia, if you guys don't know, they call World Trade Center. I can take anything from here. I can take your full name, Alfonso Zion Soul, and go to World Trade Center and prepare a document from World Trade Center that looks so legitimate.
Hello, Wall Street should get down Clay and Gailey Street somewhere there.
Exactly. They can put it up there and boom, everybody will say, wow, that's it. But it's fake. Now, there is an investigation going on. The reason this security chief was suspended not because it was drug. He didn't even know that actual drug was in there. He knew the only thing they know when they first got the thing to say, oh I know my Linda tea or whatever tea was that. And that was it says on the back or in the deck that was sent. The only reason why now it has become something because they have to go and further test it. They have to go further test it. The reason why they suspended him is because the drug should not have left from that part of the boat. It got another entry or exit, whatever, and there's some communication that went between he and the military man, whatever way, that implicated him in the whole thing, and they have to suspend him until the investigation is concluded. But bringing other people, don't forget we're on a campaign trail. I tell you, don't forget we're on a campaign trail. These are things that will demoralize or lower the prestige or the momentum of this campaign. So they have to put people meaning, okay, so I can use this platform to just say the opposition plan all those things so they can implicate people in the opposition and want to will I be doing justice to the process? No. So until that time, let us listen, watch the investigation and see what the investigation will land. This is a very serious thing. Even if the Americans are involved in it to investigate it, if in a bullying, rest assured President William will kick out to the curb if she involved in this thing. Because it's dangerous for our society, and President William know his momentum that he's gaining on his campaign trail, and it's so hard he will never want for even Finabono to mess it up by bringing drugs in our country. So it's counterproductive for us to sit on this platform and allow people to push the political, rhetoric, not realizing the severity of our problem, our drug problem in the country. I think it's sad, and we should not use this credible platform to do that.
Okay, what we do know, the established is the issue of drugs is real. I visited a particular place. I said that on top program. I think Mali should be good now. I'm going to be going to him. Notwithstanding, somewhere they're going to Rawafi area, right opposite sport complex. That's where they have this place called Zimbabwe. If you go there, you see the young people that are there, children. I would say children. It's terrible. But we're waiting. I'm waiting to see the information that's going to be coming out, official statement from the government of Liberia to whatever investigation that is being done. Marley Jones, let me just bring you in. I believe the audio now should be perfect. Are you hearing me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. There's something to we're trying to mess with your audio.
No, that was science versus tradition. But we overcame the whole exercise, so that's fine.
Okay, so here we are. And some of these analysis, they are right. We know in elections it's always tense. There are different types of propaganda. People can use anything that appears to be good, but it's not. It's almost like making copy. We don't know the details here, but we're waiting. We're going to give it a time for a full investigation, and hopefully, because the idea, the issue of drugs is real in the country. That's is undeniable. But how, whether they will come in clean, let them provide the explanation. The explanation provided by the security chief, RIA, the time of the arrival of these stuff we are talking about, and how it just came within the public domain, while much was being done for us to know exactly what happened. But let me just bring you in here, Mally Jones, from your own being, involved with stuff here. What is really going on here? What is lacking? Who kicked the can down the road?
Well, I don't think there should be a very strange scenario, because one thing I know, the CDC-led government is very notorious for bringing in inconclusive result on so many things in Liberia.
Folks, if you please mute your phone, if you are doing something, please mute your phone. We're hearing a noise.
You talking to me?
No, not you. Lion, you called, but there was a lot of noise. Go ahead, Jones. Sorry.
Yeah. I said I don't know why we really hurting our head on the drugs issue right now, because it's like the CDC-led government is on record for being very notorious for inconclusive investigation in Liberia. So when we're talking about they have embarked on an investigation at this time when it's just 27 days to election.
Lion, your reception is bad. You need to something there. I can't take the phone. We're having a bad, terrible feedback. Go ahead, Jones. I think I'm not gonna take your call.
So I don't want to believe that this drugs issue is going to go anywhere. We had a $1 million cocaine deal. 2 people were arrested. 1 Lebanese was involved. How far did that case go? People were even acquitted, right? So this time now, the people are brave enough to use the airport to bring in drugs. So the question now is, the government is between profit making, I think, and saving the life of the young people in Liberia. Because this drug issue is not the first time. You see, an investigation by the CDC-led government, is on record. It's very notorious for bringing in inconclusive report. Even the investigation that's going on, I want to believe from that history, nothing is going to come out of this thing. It's going to be set under the carpet. I want to believe that.
Is this a part of a political ploy? Political ploy in the sense that while it is true there's a drugs issues in the country and the substance in questions going through all of the processes for government to give it, is here another ploy of a distraction to get us away from this election, to keep focus? Because this is something that the media are going to be slamming for the next couple of days, and we don't know, hopefully with the government come out here. The Liberal, let me just bring you in here before Terry come in here. You heard what Mal is saying. Does that resemble the work of GOL?
Thank you, Mr. So. Terry, let me say this again. I want to thank you very much. Even as young as you are, I'm much, much older than you. But I think your involvement here with this platform have given some of us the attitude of being patient. I would have jumped on those 3 guys tonight, but because of you, the fact that you were here, Mr. So, let me make my point. If you don't want me to say it, then I'll just excuse myself if you want me to. The point here, Terry, I want to thank you. Mr. So, I am a little bit baffled with your silence on the allegation level against these people. We never met. I never met any of them in person, but we have interacted. I have interacted with them here on this platform, so I consider them friends. For them to come out here and make these kinds of allegations against me, and you said nothing, Your silence means a lot, and your silence says a lot, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit baffled. Let me put it this way. Here's what I'm going to tell Aaron, Carter, and I believe it's Evers. If you see these, and all three of them, highly educated, there's no question asked. But because of their ability as an educated person to be able to make come and get yourself involved and clarify things, if they are lazy, they shouldn't blame me. Aaron, for example, ever since I brought Aaron and Terry on here, every time that I go on air, I send email to both Aaron and Terry. Aaron should be able to come out here and disabuse me if I say something that perhaps are not true. Claire, I never stop anybody from making comment here. Cutter will come in here and tell me I put my foot in my mouth. We laugh about it. He has a view. He has the right to express those views. Second thing, Mr. Soul, this platform, it is not a platform just for me. It is a platform that has been utilized for us to pass information on to Liberians. Granted, you might not agree with me, but I'm not going anywhere. I have my own show, and I will run my show the way I see it fit, as long as I'm not abusive to people. If you come out here and I challenge you, you don't like it, you don't want to watch me, don't watch me. I'm not going to force you. But you cannot come out here and tell Soul, of course he's a CEO, but he's not going to fire me. But you coming out here and telling him you left the platform, Samson and Terry are turning into bad guy. Why can't you come out and disabuse me, even if I'm propagating bad guy issue and what have you? You have the right as an audience, and I respect that. But to come out here and say that what I'm doing, it is something that perhaps you don't think is necessary for the platform, unacceptable. One last thing, Mr. Soul, is this. The Seeing Spoon TV, that for which I'm being castigated here by the lazy sedition here tonight, who are unable to come out and challenge me from when I make statement. They are now, this is a Seeing Spoon TV. Many of their ministers, the minister under this administration, used to run to Spoon TVs almost every other night to go and have confusion among themselves with Spoon. And now, let me speak the Liberian English. And now y'all know Spoon, they're not trustworthy people. They're not a I don't call it front page Africa that used to carry your thing. When somebody says something, when it's not in your favor, then you're sedition. That's why I say you're to put your foot in your mouth. And come tomorrow, I will make you to put 2 feet in your mouth tomorrow. Because tomorrow, this is campaign time. I told you guys, I'm not going to be here because I want friends. I will say the truth. This is about the country. If you don't believe what I'm saying, that's fine. Come on and challenge me. But don't come here and cry like a baby. Nobody's going to listen to you. Samson told the liberal is going nowhere. I'm coming on live tomorrow. And tomorrow's show, I will do just like what I did here a day or so ago. Video will speak for me. Just sit down there and let the government make fool out of everybody, and you expect us to just sit down and let you run with it. You come out here with all your education, and you are unable to defend this government. Because why you think people are talking about the drugs issue with this government? Because the government have lied so much. They have no trust whatsoever. Nobody trusts them. Nobody trusts them. If a young man like that, as good as he is, President we are, as good and careful person as he is, you go to President we are right now, one-on-one, and you start crying. He would want to take out his shirt on your back and give it to you. You people got hold of this man and turn him into an ugly person towards the Liberian people. Then when I'm talking to you, going to come here and talk about, they will take what from me, the platform from me? Far from it.
Why you say
Jesus Christ? I'm going to Thank you very much.
Let me go to Terry. I don't see why you're giving your cholesterol to go out. People will always express their view. I mean, I don't see anything. And so they express your view. You agree with them, they disagree. And I say it here, the media statement I'm asking, is this the government position? Because all of you here protecting your own alligators, you have the sedition at all levels. You talk to them to the benefit of their neighbor. They will defend, they will take their position. I am waiting to see The idea, the fight here is there's a drug issue. We saw the millions of dollars, and we don't know the end of the conversation. This name, the name, that's not me call for name. All right, that's somebody from the heritage, from the security side said, they say, that say. So we need to know to the bottom line. But let me just bring you in here, Terry.
Yeah, so, the burglary from Spoon TV, this is Spoon paper, Spoon newspaper, right? And I'm looking at the bug, there was a burglary at the RIA Custom and Made Drugs Airway Bill saga. So Spoon TV, I'm not Spoon, but front page journalists have confirmed that there was a burglary done at the RIA Custom office, which raises suspicion. Because obviously, if you burglarize the very same office that keeps all the documents, it raises suspicion because in that office has the documents of each and every aircraft that landed and all the cargoes that was on and what left and what came in. And you and I know we're discussing a drug saga, and all of a sudden documents, not documents, but the office is broken into by criminals. And I'm reading here that the janitor, one John Witter, was arrested as a suspect. He's a janitor working at the airport. So, the CDC-led government, because of the lack of transparency, there are a lot of discrepancies in the information presentations. All right. I don't know how they run their media propaganda, but they do come off fully with information when issues occur for the public to know what's really happening. So it leaves us to suspect, it leaves us to our opinions, and it leaves the public wanting information. So I think that they need to do a better job. You cannot afford to be doing these kind of things and miss a huge drug burst. For me, I think that President Weah is slow in his response to most of these things. And if he's not careful, it might cost him these elections, whether Aaron like it or not. Keto them. The other guy, he was saying, was it Aaron or Keto? He said that thing that came in, it was a methadone. Then my question will go to him would be, if it was a if it was not a drug addicted substance, all right, then who brought it in? Why can't we find the people who brought it in? Because medical people are supposed to bring in medication that's supposed to help our citizens. Why are they in hiding? Why the public is not aware about these people who brought these things in, knowing very well that they were not harmful? So they're trying to protect something that you can't protect because the information is already out. And the worst of all, the government do not have the right guys to present the information to the public the right way. So as a result, any haphazard information we receive, that is what the public is going to believe. And worst of all, it might not cause President Weah re-election. And that is just my view.
Okay. All right. So let me play this here. This is where my argument coming from. The idea, the fact of the matter here is real because the chief security of RIA, looking at the timing, let's play this and we're going to listen and we will wait and see what would be GOL position in this, because a high profile person's name was called. That should be the concerns of the governor of the Republic of Liberia. Chief of protocol, someone who regulates the activities of the president. Name is allegedly mentioned in such a thing. That is a serious concern. Let's get this here, and then we have a conversation. This is where my argument is coming from. Let's see here.
Okay, I don't know where they got their perception from. It was drugs that was smuggled out of the airport. Someone name was indicated that I was arrested. ELPR arrested me with drugs. The ELPR officer that is in question. Okay.
You guys hearing it right?
He was not arrested. According to him, update this morning, I signed the gas check for the field, for the vehicle. He was not present. He made the allegation to the MD. He called the MD that boss on paying bleeding on the air side. Okay, I took boss on the air side. The MD coming. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm not saying they say he took boss on the air side." He said, "The attack of Finabona." I said, "Who told you that?" I said, "You myself, Ray in her belt. When the president was here to spend no 10 feet, I was there. Go on my Facebook page, you'll see me online. My security supervisor called me. At that time, Joseph Butler was coming in the country. Okay, I think almost 4 or 5 missed calls from Mountain. So, keep from Guyana. We was at Black 19, want to go eat. 2 of my deputies and myself. Then I got a call from my security supervisor. So, there are people here, they have their goods on the air side. They said they want to get their goods out or get their cargo. So I said, okay, what you do, make sure they have their document. That is, they should pay before any car go on that air side, make sure you pay our fee to the account and you get your receipt before you get instead of go on the air side. It's okay, yes, sir, chief. It was done. The next day I got a call on EFL standing. So when I talked to the EFL officer and said, "Oh, that's my chief," said the car should be stopped. I called Lieutenant Connie. He's like, "Okay, Freeman, I'll call you back." After that, the MD Connie said, "You said the attack is for Finabono." So why would Connie say such a thing? When I called Connie to ask him, he said, "No, he never told the MD about it." Today, Connie was like, at the opening ceremony of the action, we see you guys when they're insulted. But this is all on social media, on Front Page Africa, our island civil director who was arrested with him. It's a bit of the sense what happened between the Senegal and the credit card. It was on the first year. Today is the 11th of September. The gap in days. Why such a long period before the unboxing of the alleged Moringa tea? Why that delay? This was something that was really pressing their character. Did you push that it be unboxed immediately to save yourself? No, it came out on the 9th, September 9th. It was when somebody posted on the social media, Facebook, that I was arrested with drugs. Our security guards have been arrested with drugs by AFM. Okay? By AFM. They said the drugs that I said was for Finabono. That one on the front, on the Facebook, something that they posted. The next day, Front Page Africa told it. Mr. Freeman, the question is, why the delay from the 31st up to now? Did your name get smeared on the 9th? That prompted you people to now unbox these items? And if so, were they in the AFL or the custom custody since the 31st? Yeah, we're in custom custody. So the issue was raised, we were in custom custody. The joint security, we were aware. So custom had it in the work, I think that's okay, so everything. What they prompted me now, when my name came out Saturday the 9th. Yeah, Saturday the 9th on social media. Yeah, I think you guys will see the Front Page Africa. And look at my photo, the security director, and all the rest of the drugs are. So just a follow up, I beg you, listen to. My follow up here is since the 31st, and there was already a mix up on the content of the boxes. Yeah. Was there an investigation that was started immediately based on that confusion as to what was the content and how did the vehicle get authorization to the tarmac and all of that? Was that already ongoing, or when your name was mentioned before this investigation kickstarted? That's what we really want to know. Yes, what happened when the goods were, when the actor was arrested, it was all on the order of the MD. He read it on the MD, Martin Hayes. He made it clear over there. He took it to custom. So he's the MD. He had jurisdiction to carry on investigation on the established black investigation. Okay, the investigation now brought in members of the joint security, what my new put on social media, the no way the chief of protocol to the president, but we were also mentioned that drugs were brought into the country And I said the drugs were for Finapunda.
So my name is William DeSanto. I vote for ELPC. The AFL president in question has alleged that the minibus was using an unauthorized exit to actually.
No, there's nothing unauthorized exit though. We have Gov 9, we have Gov 3. People that go on the air side and use Gov 3, okay, to get their cargo. And use Gov 3 to exit. So there was nothing that unauthorized. The arrested officer, the one that gave the order, Lieutenant Cody, he didn't show up. The one that gave Martin the information, he never showed up to the place order. You were in my office this morning.
So why do you think all of these are coming, or you are being implicated? What is going on?
I don't know.
Is there an internal wrangling within the leadership of the airport authority?
I mean, there are things that work. Yeah, things that work. There are a lot of things that work. And I can tell you that. There are a lot of things that work.
Why some of the things go wrong?
It's administrative issue. There are a lot of things that work.
How's the relationship with you and the MD?
The relationship with the MD and myself is a racket.
When you say racket, what do you
mean? The relationship with the MD is rocking. I think there's a hidden information here. And the guy who did this interview, I think he did an extraordinary job, pushing really trying to get the answer. He, Livingston, was not really getting to the point. Bottom line, because this is an overstayed case. It being there, he only got concerned when his name surfaced on the social media, and that's how he went live and all of that. What prompted this here? And I know because it's a high-profile case, allegedly, knowing what we know now, which of course he shouldn't have even said anything until the Drugs Enforcement Agency, the Ministry of Justice, or Attorney General, they should have been, and that's where he screwed up everything, making that. Now he says somebody called Finna's name. The president said they didn't call it Nina. So who is really telling us the truth? This is where the battle line. How can the damage is already been done. I'm looking to see what sort of tone going to be used to reconstruct this case here, to reassure the audience or the public that, hey, this is not a case. Because first of all, it was not Dent, it was not GOL that did the testing. They had to call in the international community, the US, the embassy was involved, UN, drugs services, they were involved. They did the testing later on to validate, to say, hey, the one GOL reported first, that's not a. On the basis of that, the Ministry of Justice were able to issue that press statement. Who can reconstruct this case?
Yeah, Mr. So, if I may, I think this is once again where the credibility of this administration is really coming home to roost, because they are unable for years and years. They have not been able to tell us the truth. They will come out and say, okay, we're going to launch this investigation. Nothing come out of it. They will tell us, oh, nothing. I mean, sometimes the president don't even explain something of a national interest or of a national issue. He doesn't come out to talk to the Liberian people. If he had done those kinds of conversation with the Liberian people, his credibility in terms of talking to people will be boosted up. But because he has not done so, this is a very critical time. So right now, even if the president were to come out and say, okay, what's going on here? This is what's happening, and try to tell people what is happening. Nobody gonna believe him. Nobody believe this government. That's their Achilles heel, Mr. So. Nobody believe it. So I don't see the only person here, I think, that will come out and be a little bit trustworthy will be the Minister of Justice. And the AFL, they also can make this whole thing with the connection with the government people. They can come out and clarify things, and they will be believed. And they are much more believable than the administration itself, Mr. So.
I don't think GOL is happy with the interview conducted by Livingstone. That was just over the top. That's not how protocols, that's not how government works. There are certain places, we work in government before. There are certain things, even when you go there, you can be who, they will never grant you that interview. What he did here and saying, oh, there's a relationship rackings. And when you say administrative, there are a lot of things involved. So it means he and his boss are not getting along, and there's some sort of rift there. And that's how this whole thing came about, because it should have been the Ministry of Justice to address, or the Drugs Enforcement Agency with other security apparatus to address it. Who incited the name of the chief of protocol? That's the $1 million question. And who's going to answer that question? Who has the answers to that question? Jones, I see you rocking. Perhaps somebody giving you a tips up.
I think, Mr. Moderator, by this time, we supposed to be reading the tea leaves of this government by this time. This whole thing is a high-level syndicated operation going on. We are just blessed to be lucky to see the counter accusation in this whole thing. In the first place, a Joria who has been coming on in one of the tablets to say that we are not bringing in drugs. That was something to say. This guy, he's always tight-lipped on so many important issues. All right. If this issue is not an inside operation, which I will classify it as a high-level syndicate operation among officials of government, Joria would have suspended the chief of protocol. A lot of people would have been suspended pending investigation.
Right.
But this is a syndicate, and it's not going nowhere. I can tell you that. By next week, this time, the case will be closed. You just made a salient point. I don't know, it is you or told that if the justice minister come in, and therefore these are the same children of the devil, they're not going to give you anything strange. All right? There's a syndicate going on. How will people put your name on a parcel? And later on, it's just going all over the place. They're accusing one another. All right? This case is going to die down. More besides, this is not the only high-profile drug case so far, raising our brow all over the place. Okay? How far did it go? They could even set people free on ground that was the judicial process.
Yeah, the two folks from that drugs issue. Yeah.
All right. So, just what Mr. Toll said, people are taking the government for granted. The government is weak. We don't know how to react to things. This whole thing, as far as the drug trafficking thing, what makes these people so brave? Broad daylight, you bring in consignment through the airport. Tell me, because the government is weak. All right? And behold, the ongoing story now is among the children of the government. Everybody fighting now to uphold their image building strategy. It's not me, how it got there, or all the kind of thing. So, we are very serious. If the CDC-led government want to tell we, the outsider, who are looking from within, dismiss all these people, set up a commission to investigate them. Then I will withdraw my classification that this thing is not a syndicate going on. We are not, everybody quiet. And these are top people closer to the president. Chief of protocol, meet the president all day, every day. All right? So there's something going on there. And even my brother even said, what of this is this will help to divert people's attention, and it might affect we are in the pool. Well, that boils down to what is their priority. The voters right now, is that their priority to find over how drugs into the country? I don't think that's a priority right now. It's you and myself priority because we understand between lines, we know the effect drug is causing on our youth population. But the rest of the people, some people will even tell you, say, oh, they lie on the government again. The government, they lie on this government again. Somebody will tell you that.
The question now, would there be some sort of investigation from the first branch of government? Do you think they're going to call in the Minister of Justice and other security apparatus to get to the bottom line, to get for questioning, to provide answers, to get a clear-cut, in-depth information with this, who the sender, who was the recipient, why the time gap, and all of that? Would there be some? Do you think there will be a house investigation?
Okay. I want to say emphatically on this platform tonight that I will credit your account $25 if that happens.
20 what?
25 US dollar. I will credit it to your account if that happens.
If the house to carry on investigation?
Yes. With all the arm involved.
Can you run it up little? Can you run it up a little bit? Let's ask some.
At least 1,000.
No. I have witnesses here. I will credit your account $25 if that happens, Mr. Moderator.
Terry, because this is the Minister of Justice has to be called in to provide explanation. The Minister of Justice is the Chief Security Officer of the Republic of Liberia. The police, immigration, DEA, all of those people fall under the jurisdiction of the Minister of Justice, Chief Prosecutor. Do you think the House will call in the Minister of Justice, considering the nature of this and other past cases drugs related and how this thing has been in the society, considering all of what is going on? Do you think they're going to be at a House investigation to someone, the Minister of Justice? And if that not happens, I will go to what does that speak to?
That is what I think I will go with Mr. Mali on this one, because the election is ahead, and most of these guys are looking for money. So most of those things, once the government cover it up and send some money around, those guys will not call nobody. Those guys will just do their own thing. And even if they did, nothing fruitful is going to come out of it, So to be honest with you, this thing is going to die down in a couple of days. So on this one, I would like to go with Mr. Mali, even though we don't always.
Okay, you form me a coalition with him on this one. The Liberal.
Yeah.
Will you be surprised, or will it be a strange development if there's no House investigation to get to the bottom line of this whole thing here, or it's just going to die a premature death?
This thing I told you before, Mr. So, I hate to say it, only those of us that are in the diaspora are worrying about it. People in Liberia, they're not even thinking about it. It means nothing to them, because they know very well Finambono is going nowhere. She's going to be the still chief of protocol with no the investigation. The only way, in fact, not only way, the investigation going nowhere. Even the French government and the U.S. government can say whatever they want to say. They're not going anywhere, because I think, I could be wrong, but I think at this point, President Weah has not even thinking about Uncle Sam being friend to Liberia anymore either. Because if it was so, you would think that he would do what he can to have his own friend, his own buddy, to be vindicated. And that has not happened, Mr. So I think this one here, just us here on the platform in the U.S., being in the diaspora, just talking about it, but it means nothing, Michael. It's not going to change any vote whatsoever. This is not going to change vote in Liberia. President, we are going to win. Those who have already decided they're going to vote for the president is done. Those that are on the fence line, this is not going to affect them one way or the other, Mr. So this, if I were a member of the opposition, I wouldn't even waste my time with this one, because it's going nowhere.
And can we tie this scenario to the elections in terms of making a difference or any impact, or it's just the same old thing? Terry, do you think people are going to look at this and weigh it to say, okay, this is how we're going to go, considering what is happening? Is there any impact on the electoral process in 27 days?
Yeah, sure. I think that, like we said last night, I think it's an added advantage. I think you made up that statement that maybe it could be an added advantage or a distraction for the government, and I went with an added advantage for the opposition because it will now, the opposition again will have a latest news to motivate their supporters not to vote for President Weah. So even those other voters that was undecisive, all right, those silent voters and the ones that are undecisive, the ones that even say, I will not vote because everybody will be the same. Now, the message now may begin to resonate, might begin to resonate with them that, I think we need to vote against President Weah because if this kind of thing at this time is not a good signal, it's not sending a good signal. So even though the people on the ground may not see it to be anything because they already been baffled with a lot of these kind of things, it's also going to be a message to the voters that are on the fence, that are indecisive as regarding what to do, who to cast the vote for. Should I cast my vote or should I not? Because we must understand that there is a huge number of voters that just don't vote. They just go and register and take the card just to use it for ID card. All right? They don't participate in votes. In voting, in the voting process in Liberia, because they are not sure about politicians. So I think that this is a last minute message that the opposition can use to run with to win the indecisive voters.
What is the political risk involved in that? Running with this yet, CDC is also very good at flipping the coins. And one thing they have been very successful, this sort of rare meat, this sort of soundbite that they have been pushing their supporters, their surrogates, and even the president have saying that, hey, people, this is a hate. They don't. I'm one of you. I am where you live. I am one of you. I was in this condition before. They don't know what suffering is, or what all they are doing is hate, and that's something that resonates with his base as well. Now, so where is the fine line that the opposition needs to walk as well before it become like a splash in their faces? Mali Jones.
Well, I beg to differ from my brother. I think if I was a communication expert attached to one of the opposition political party, I think I would advise them strongly not to waste their time on spilled milk. One, people who supposed to vote for Joe Weah, I want to believe strongly Joe Weah have got what I call a diehard population. The people I saw that Joe Weah brought together on the stadium, I don't know what other people are already suffering in that country. I don't know. Okay? So what I'm seeing here is that, first of all, we should ask ourselves, is it a priority to the people that are voting in Liberia right now? That's the first question. Two, if we say we're using it as a voting, as another recipe for voting from the opposition camp, are we going to jump the gun to say CDC official drug in the country again? That would be premature because the whole thing is controversial right now. The water is muddy. You see, the intellectual will not go that direction to just place blame that way. We want for the court process to take place. But the question now is, will we divert his attention to waste his time on the scene when he should be running his campaign? It's not going to happen. Yes, it will not happen. Should Kumi waste time on the scene to educate his people? It will be a new variable for his people, and they will find it difficult to process these things, and Joe Weah might take that population away. So they shouldn't even bother it. Let the whole thing play itself out, and we just forget about it again as usual. Yeah.
Liberal.
Mr. So,
it's a volatile one here. And there's a flip side to this whole thing here, and I said that yesterday. One party that should be very careful in pushing this here, and CDC, they are very good at coming back even the president. He's throwing jobs at people. Sometimes is quite interesting. Unity Party, because the question would be where do we where when we came to power, where do we meet this whole rehabilitation process? We don't have the data to prove that. How many persons were rehabilitated? How much were invested, and where we need to go? And that core could wrap around the vice president. They will not see the reality of now, but they will say, wait, but this is what we're doing. What did they do? We have and the president have said that consistently over and over. We have just had 6 years. We were there 12 years ago. Even though there are bad things, bad policies, bad administrative decision being making. And it's quite true. If you go inside Liberia, the thinking of the people, if you have a conversation with them, it's quite different. And because I'm not sure whether because the media have not set the stage, and even if the media did, they have their own way of thinking, because you can't ask anybody, what are you voting for this person? They can't tell you anything. They just only tell you, well, I'm so person, and that's how I'm voting. Nothing like education, nothing like health, nothing like infrastructure, nothing, literally nothing they can tell you. Everybody there more or less driven and drawn into their political attachment, their political affiliation, period. That's it. It's not like here. But what I do know, apart from other people, there's going to be this sort of transgression, transfers of vote. There's be some people who will vote other people, not necessarily the president, but they will vote some people as senator, as representative. That is visible when you talk to people in different districts and in different towns. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I agree with you. For me, the opposition should not even waste their time on this. They should just move on and let those Liberians that are in the diaspora here that will beat on this here, perhaps they will get through the ears of many Liberian back home. That's fine. But the opposition, for me, they shouldn't waste their time. And you made an interesting point here where, and in fact, it did happen where President Weah claimed to the people that I'm one of you. I live in a ghetto just like you. So I know who you are and you guys know me. Now, how do you disprove that as an opposition? So that's one other situation you're not even going to make up. You're not even going to try to touch because you're going to be wasting your time on it. What I think will happen is that most likely, if and only if President Weah was to win re-election, many of these people you see around him. There's a guy here, a video that I have him, Mr. So. He's a scrap iron person, dealer. But he goes out into, I mean, he's very, very, you see him just like Chris, but he collects, he go and gets scrap iron from all over all yards and stuff like that. But he stated this. He said, if President Weah is given the second chance to be re-elected, that when he comes in, all of the corrupt officials around him, he said that, I have the tape, all of the corrupt officials around him will not be part of that new administration. And this is what I believe. President Weah, he's not dumb. So even if he's quiet on Finambono stuff, most likely will not do it, because right now, even if you are to take the step that many of us are calling for the dismissal of Finambono,
that's not going to happen.
They're going to run my government. I'll run the government the way I know how. And so he's going to be on the defensive. He's not going to dismiss her. But when he win re-election, the like of Finambono will not be around the president long. That I truly believe that. So I think for the opposition, Mr. So, their best bet is just continue to campaign and tell the people what you can do. Don't waste your time with President Weah. You can mention a drug situation, but it must be mentioned in the sense how it's hurting Liberia. It shouldn't be part of your campaign about the government bringing drugs in the country and hurt. No, that would be a poor campaign choice of word as far as I'm concerned. So I think they should just let it go, campaign, and bring out issues that is affecting our people whenever you have the opportunity. But I think to say that the people bring it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And then lastly, Mr. So, let me just say this again. The fact that President Weah is now campaigning with Honorable McKee, it speaks a volume. It means the president most likely don't even believe Uncle Sam's accusation. And second, if he did, he really don't care about it. Because how will you now, when he's reelected, and when he's reelected, would he be able to come to the United States without the U.S. telling him what we says you can't campaign with that? And one of the things I believe the president is betting on, the association of Prince Johnson to that of Ambassador Bakai. If they can do it, why can't I do it? That type of sense. And Ambassador Bakai, for me, let me just throw this other ridiculous bomb here. That's what I do. I'm very good at it. I think once Ambassador Bakai win the election, you will find a constitutional crisis will be coming into that government. Because most likely, if the vice president, the Honorable Kuhn, does not distance himself from Prince Johnson, the entire Bakai administration will find way to sideline the vice president, and that will create a constitutional crisis in Liberia. I predict.
You more than hey Corey, as soothsayer. Okay, it's 9:51. Now, if we were to recap and go back a couple of months ago, because some of us made this prediction, the failure of the opposition, the so-called group that are called CPP, and we knew because their document is the document prepared, we raised an apprehension all about that, and here we are. The Liberal, I'm coming to you because we had this argument on or this conversation here, and you took a position and I took a stand, and I told you where this whole thing was ended. Unity Party, ANC, and the rest of the other party, are they recapping to say, wait a minute, we should have done better than to see where we are now? Is it too late? And then sort of a Holy Ghost can, political Holy Ghost can intervene to say, no, considering all we are going through, we need to solidify our political grip. And I see that happening. ANC and Unity Party, they're not getting along. So what happens when it comes to the second round? How can Unity Party or how can ANC soften the board to get their vote? Who could cut through that corridor?
Yeah, Mr. So, I think if you are trying to get me to eat crow here tonight, I'm not about ready to do that. However, let me just say that, yes, you made this statement 2 years or so ago that these people, first of all, they were never going to get along. And secondly, it's not going to work properly. We've seen that. What I think the interesting thing and the most valuable thing that have happened with this failure of the collaboration process is that many young Liberian politicians, many young Liberian historians would look back on this and perhaps would be like a teachable moment for them. Things what not to do, and if you're going to emerge with another political party, what to look for and what to say. Now, I hope that they will watch the LPR programs on YouTube and perhaps be able to learn from that process. Because I was 1 year and they say, "Oh, the thing gonna go well." I truly believe I thought they were going to get it together, but it didn't. Now,
you didn't listen to me. You did not listen to me. I don't know why even your son. That's a different conversation.
The Liberal let you have 1 minute, please. Don't come wrong with it because those are conservative ideas, and I'm not about ready to have it here tonight either. So I say you got it. That 1 point on me, that's fine. Let's leave it as that. Now, as far as these people are concerned, let me just give it to you here quickly. I think overall, Alexander Cummings, when it's all said and done, and if he's not successful, he's going to be the one to regret this whole process, I believe. Because I think Alexander Cummings missed the Liberian people thinking. Because I believe he thought, coming from the Western world, having spent so many times in this country, seeing the political activities of this country, he believed, I thought, that he was going to go over and be truthful with them. However, he didn't realize that Liberian politicians all Liberian politicians, they are just as bad and wicked as the school people in the street. They decided to why Example respected and believed in them. They decided to put sand in his gallery, and I think after that was done, he pretty much decided, no way I'm going to work with these people. And I think that's a sad statement, because Example of all of the people that are in the race, he has the most ability to lead fairly. If Mr. Kumi was to be elected president, it won't even take 6 years for us to see the real change in Liberia. Whereas if Ambassador Baka becomes president, we will see change, but it's going to be very gradual because of the folks around Ambassador Baka. That's what I believe, and that's what I'm saying.
You tend to, Pat George, good evening. I'm finding it very difficult to understand who you are, what you represent, and
I don't have to for you.
I come out because I don't know, you acting like one of these Trumpers surrogate. You say one thing, the next day you say one thing. If you believe is that a conviction, something that is within that you strongly believe, then why are you not propagating his message?
No. You see, that's the difference between you, the two conservative people we have on here, and the liberal. I am here to be truthful. The fact that I said what I said about Honorable Kumi, I also am a realist. I realize and I know that Honorable Kumi is not going to win the election. He does not stand a chance to win the election. Ambassador Baka, on the other hand, has a greater probability of winning the election. And therefore, since he's also the most experienced person, I have to throw my weight behind that, because I need somebody to come and stabilize the mess this sedition and CDC has done to this country. And therefore, Ambassador Baka is the one that I believe will come and strengthen. However, because of my support or because of my admiration of Ambassador Baka does not negate what I believe to be the truth. And I must say so. Mr. So, I'm the liberal. And let me put it to you in a real Liberian way. Nobody here saying my more, my here saying anybody more. They can't do nothing to me. As long as I say the truth, I be truthful, I'm done with it. Thank you.
Emma Joyce, good evening. What you can say a few words before we can go. I know the drug issue has been the cardinal, it has been the dominant conversation here, but there was a presidential debate here. Mali Jones, you wanted to say something? There was a presidential debate. I don't know who monitored LPR with True FM and other network. Boycott didn't show, or the president didn't show, or Cummings didn't show, or this is clearly to suggest that I don't know who missed the opportunity here, but that's another component of people. The electorates are not taking into consideration the C debates as a waste of time, because these people's mind are made up. Jones, how dangerous this situation when Kennedy's people seeking the higher office of the land, they are not showing up to explain their agenda, their vision, and all of that. How dangerous it is into our political process?
Well,
What happened? The liberal now jump on you again?
I know what Terry said and what the liberal said, that when George Weah win the election, there's the probability he will make a lot of changes. History disagree with that exception. In the first place, from 1847 to 1944, 97 years, there were recycled politicians from children to uncle to. It's like government is like a society. We have to bring in new generation to what? To sustain the hegemony. Georgia might not change anybody in his next administration because he has to sustain that base. Yes, he has to sustain that base for all they have done in 12 years. So changing people may shake the foundation. I can send you back to the Bongo family. All right? I can even send you back from 1944 to 1971. While Todman stayed in power for 25 years, 27 years, he has to consolidate the hegemony. Robert Mugabe, he couldn't even walk straight. But people got to be there. So Georgia is going to follow that tradition there. To move people there, Bono. Well, maybe that miracle, that political miracle could really take place, but I'll wait to see it. But anyway, back to the question. I strongly want to believe that, every political party has got its own communication style, its own leadership style, its own presentation, its own priorities. You see? So the various political party, I'm sure they get different priorities. Yes. For we on the platform, we make our analysis based on certain variables and certain facts. But when you ask them, they will tell you, oh, we've made a lot of progress. This is how we're doing it. I noticed the Unity Party is spending so much time in Monrovia. Monrovia is not Liberia. You see? And when I go to the tablet, I see from the other newspaper, CDC is in Beaumont, the Innes Village, the Innes Town, the Innes Place. When I go to make my assessment of the opposition, they all just turn around in Mosoraro County. So the election now, it has been narrowed to what I call crowd competition. It seems to be the more you produce a crowd, we are likely to conclude that you are leading to the executive mansion. So it has become a crowd competition now. People are competing with crowd. When you bring your own crowd on, tomorrow I bring mine on, then the observer measure the various sizes of crowd and say, okay, that's what's happening in Liberia right now.
Let me bring the man from the far right from Atlanta, Georgia, who is a strong supporter of the opposition CPP, ANC, Alexander Benedict Cummings. You heard it, Liberal. This is not the first thing I intend not to relegate this year, but I just want to give you the opportunity. I know we are wrapping up here, but the unfolding situation, the news in Liberia, what are you hearing from your end?
No, Mr. Su, good evening, Malik, Collins, and Mr.
Yeah, good evening, Brother.
Mr. Su, this issue is not surprising to me. The issue of drugs that's the job we are making. I don't point back that job we are making.
That's what?
The issue of drugs in Liberia is George Weah.
How?
What are your facts?
Let me give you some instances.
This is Liberia Public Radio. You can. He said, "Where are your facts?"
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh my goodness!
Do you remember the drug bust in Rangier? Do you remember the drug bust in Maryland? The ship back in, they said died there, and something happened, and we saw all the white powder on the beach, and they said they fired one DA officer who was trying to compromise where that case went. The $100 million case, people walk away. Within 2 weeks, $40 million drug bust in Monrovia. What happened to that case? What happened? Kidmore, there was a ship that got stuck there. Connected to drugs. What happened?
Mr. George, can you hold on 1 minute? Mr. So, I have to leave.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I want to thank all of you for the wonderful, wonderful time tonight. Mr. George, I'm sorry to interrupt. But I just want to make that announcement. Thank you very much for the time, Mr. So.
Yeah, we're almost wrapping up. Yeah, okay.
Oh, Mr. So, when I said that Georgia is responsible, this is it. Now look at the recent one, most recent one out of Rowers International Airport. They said drugs is non-burial offense in Liberia today.
They just passed that law.
Someone who brought the drugs into the country, where is that person today? Is he in jail? So when I say Georgia is the government, and he is the executive, chief executive. Mali asked for facts. I gave him 5 occasions. 5, not 1, not 2. What is the government doing? You bring in methamphetamine. You know, all of a sudden we know that drugs, one of the most dangerous common drugs in America, killing thousands of people. Is not that what they are introducing into Liberia? And you call it Malinga leave? Look at the protocol. The airport, Mr. So, when a cargo come to JFK or Atlanta, and you have a private car to go on the tarmac to receive that cargo, really? In a country where there's law and order? Every goods that come by the airline, customs supposed to intercept. In fact, that's what they call the bill of lading. Fill out the declaration, you declare everything that is you bring it into the country. That capital goes to custom. Custom will take a charge of it, go inspect the goods. If they need to be put in the warehouse, then you got the brokers. They will come and evaluate, you come to evaluate our goods to determine the revenue you're supposed to pay. The revenue part there. Custom inspector say, okay, this is there, okay, clear revenue goes, okay, this is why you're supposed to pay the government revenue. The broker take charge of that and go and do the process. But what I heard today on radio by the Custom Broker Association, this is why I said it's George Weah. It was there clearly. They said there are government official cars that go on the tarmac to receive goods. The broker don't touch the goods. They bring the goods, they use the government car, go on the tarmac, they put it inside the carrier, they say, sometimes they take it to the person or to the destination, they say, pay me. The broker today, the president of the Broker Association, call was on OKFM. The coordinator from Rawafi, custom broker from Rawafi, call, say we pay our money to LRA as lesson broker, but we are not doing anything yet. The government official bring the car to go to the tarmac. That is a rack. They call it a rack. Where the car will go receive the goods, take it to the warehouse where they inspect everything below. But government car go there and collect all the goods and carry it. So the whole security apparatus at the airport should have been fired in jail right now. Because when I listen to Livingstone, that the two deputies called him and he told them, go, let it make sure they pay the airport fee $50 and they can take the goods from the tarmac. What was the custom? What the LIA people? So just a pattern. It's just like this one. The AFX saw it and letter the front page broke the story before the whole thing came up. But it's not the first time doing it. So first thing I expected the person.
So quickly here, we are already out of time.
Yeah.
What would be the end game? Do you know?
It's also the end game is the Liberian people will continue, the children will continue to suffer and will become victims of a situation that we did not create. Because when the country is infested with drugs, and always a crime has no border. On your car, and someone, or in your house, someone will try to break into your house. Your phone, you walk in the street, you cannot hold phone in your ear this time in Monrovia. These are the things that we're going to go through. Because the government has made it in money to make money on the expense and at the detriment of the citizens of the country. That is the danger involved.
The danger. 27 days to go.
Yeah.
Would there be a game changer into this whole thing?
Now, the Liberian people, at the end of the day, they will have to make the decision. I always say, what Bob Marley said, if you are all right with the life you're living today, fine. If they think that the president is doing a great job and they want to give him power, that's up to them. If
okay.
They has consequences, they will live with the result. But I think if they would think twice, they better elect Mr. Cummings.
Okay, yeah, okay. There's a deal here. I'm not sure. Mali, Terry, you promised to establish your full identity on this network. Am I correct or not? Your political identity. You promised to establish that before the election, right?
Are you speaking to me?
Yes.
Oh no, I declined.
You pleaded fifth?
Yeah, I pleaded fifth.
Why?
Because too many things are playing now that are really surprising me right now. Okay, let's get back to Pa George.
Yeah.
It's true that very soon, a few days from now, or a few weeks from now, will be election and new government will be in place.
Yeah.
But here comes my disappointment that I even poisoned my ability to take a slap in any of the opposition political parties.
Mhm.
I have not seen a clear pathway or a clear platform, even on the issue of garbage in Liberia. I have not seen a clear pathway from any political party, including the Joseph Boakai. Let alone talk about drugs coming in now as another new variable adding to the already dangerous variable in our country. Drug is a money-making thing. And the government in power, they are hustling the last dime and the last nickel. So anything that will bring in money, trust me, they're going to chase it. But where is the opposition standing on these things? What do they have to tell we the independent? This is what I'm going to do with the drugs thing. I want to thank Georgia for one thing. The government and the 54 parliament, they passed a law for the drug thing to be non-bailable. But even that one, I see it as a charade.
But
It's just a charade. So, but what is the opposition doing to rather convince an independent man like me? Say, look, on the issue of drugs, there will be capital punishment. These are the things I really want to be listening to right now. We're gonna bear more jail, than more schools to lock these guys up. These are the things I want to hear. I don't hear these things.
Okay, you call boycott me, Pa George. I'll come, and I think we are already out of time, extremely. But let Terry comes in here. Terry been listening to a little, and then we're gonna make our closing statements before we wrap up. Terry, he did call boycott me. Is he making the point go? Or I know if you talk to all of the oppositions, there's one thing in common that they have. They want this president to go one term. If this is the case, is it too late for them to solidify their political ideology for the good of the country? If they think that's what's going to resurrect the country, good governance, better government, good education, good infrastructure, while somebody can be like the big boy in the house and call for some sort of mini end of the game coalitions that they can go. If it stays saying what I'm saying and what I witness, people talk to, it will still like it is difficult to make a sort of decision. But the probability of PDC gaining state power is more likely.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, they will not do that because, like I always say, these guys, they all have their own vision. Everybody think that what I believe and know is what will change Liberia. To get those kind of people to really become a coalition is going to be very difficult. But in my opinion, like you talk about the debate, I followed the debate a little bit, and I listened to Dr. Moniba talking about agriculture, and I thought his position on agriculture was whack because he was talking about trying to create a means wherein every county will be able to produce rice of its own. To my understanding, I don't think that is possible, and I don't think that is a way forward because every county has their own inner tradition and what they prioritize. So I think there are certain counties that you can use to do mechanized farming for rice, like Lofa County. Lofa people, the Lofians always produce rice on their own. So you want to do that with people who already familiarized with that particular area. But one of the things I see that one of the reasons why the Mr. Cummings, Mr. Cummings is going down. In my opinion, I think Mr. Cummings did not have a backup plan or a fallback position or a plan B. So he went like a python, like a boat constructor, we may say, where he going for one thing, but not understanding that you have, you didn't have a fallback plan. Mr. Cummings wanted to be the standard bearer of the CPP. And I believe he went with all his strength and he missed. And because when he missed, he never had balance because he didn't have plan B. He didn't have a fallback plan. So he just took everything, anything that came to him. And that was what now. And one of the things I think Mr. Cummings have discovered is that he have realized that there are people around him that only want to use him. And that is why Mr. Cummings, knowing
So
his
then it
position,
seems
is
to
not
me,
going to
all
fight
of the
for him.
sides, everybody seems to have people around them that somehow they are like a vampire and they are not good access to them and they are unwilling. That's the difference with the Westerner politicians. They're always willing to take a political risk. Liberian politicians, they are not ready. They are not prepared to take a political risk, even if that person poses a threat or danger to them in their political career. They are not willing to let that go. They prefer to die along with them.
Right. So Mr. Cummings now realizing that, you know what, even I've observed that I may not win. So what I'm going to do is that I'm not going to invest the money because I've already discovered that there are people that want to use me. Mr. Cummings started noticing that from that, I know you were something rally he had, and he lost over 70,000.
You tired
And
suffering?
since then, yeah, you tired suffering rally. Since then, Mr. Cummings went cold. That was when Mr. Cummings understood Liberian politics, that Liberian politics is not like Western politics. There are people that come around you just to suck your blood and get you out. They are not there for your interest. And his eyes open a little bit. So I think Mr. Cummings is reserving for 2029. But in my opinion, to be honest with you, I think that the opposition of the ANC, I'm strongly believing that the ANC will go with CDC if there is a second round. And if that is true, it's going to be very, very tough for Ambassador Boyka, even though I still believe that Ambassador Boyka is the next president for Liberia.
Okay. There seems to be a bad political blow between the ANC and Unity Party. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure Amos George is happy with you with all of these sessions and argument against his party here. That his party eventually, when there's a second round, will go with CDC. Amos George, let me give you the opportunity. You listen to Terry in his analysis.
Yeah,
Quickly,
you know, when the person is drowning, they can hold anything they see in the river. Terry made it. That's not the first time he made an assertion the last time, and I pushed back on it. But he continued to do it because they think they throw anything in the wall will stick. I don't know where he getting the information from. There's no IR to his statement to tell the people, oh, CDC, Cummings will go to CDC. I don't know where he getting the information from. So I don't want to even talk about
Politics is a dicey game.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to go down that route. Like I just say there's no truth in it. Where he get the information from, I don't know. But let me say something to him. He said, Mr. Cummings went like a bogus stroke of one thing. He never had a fallback plan again. I don't know what he means by that because today Mr. Cummings is staying in the race. But he doesn't want to talk about how the dishonesty of Joseph Walker and the others. Why you can't talk about that? Why you can't talk about the dishonesty of Joseph Walker and the jury? Why you can't talk about that? He, Joseph Walker, went to lie in court on someone that he had known for years that he went to school with, simply because of power. Joseph Walker had felt a competition. He did not want to go into primary with Cummings. That is why he orchestrated the plot. And Ure said, he said, I am a senior man, so I cannot be in the front. So you be in the front, Ure. Those are the words bending out Ure. This is the old hand of chronic politicians in Liberia. And Joseph Walker fall in that category. He went to go to testify. He lied on an oath. Because when I say he lied, the government threw the case up. After he testified, he lies on an oath. And you got to marry the council and say, oh, they want to go to CDC? No. Talk about the dishonesty of your party or the man you support.
Okay.
But let me just say this. I will talk to you on Friday. Fascinating news, Mr. So I spoke to some people today, somebody. In the inner working of Walker and Ellen Johnson Sally. Fascinating story. about Joseph Walker, the last year of Joseph Walker and Ellen
I
Johnson.
don't, yeah, okay, we will come to that. I don't want
But
to.
let me say this: Cummings is on track. If is that the excuse the Unity Party people want to go? Oh, he'll go to CDC? No, Mr. Cummings is not going to CDC, and he will not support CDC. So please, don't look for something else to throw on the wall. And malice, Mr. Cummings constantly said about drugs that will punish people. I don't know the capital punishment. That I cannot speak of it because I know Mr. Cummings will not execute anybody for drug. But to go to jail before guilty, definitely his tongue.
Mali is calling for capital punishment.
Yeah,
Guys, time is already out. Time is running out here. But let me ask this question here before we go. I don't want to forecast what's going to happen afterwards or just in the dying minute of the 10 here. The last time around, your political leader said what people should vote, or should vote their conscience, or they should decide for themselves, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If history repeats itself, assuming, and this is for discussion purposes, in the second round, and maybe boycott and the ruling establishment CDC, if Conway were to come back with that same position, what would be your own thinking?
Oh, I would say the same. Let people vote their conscience. With Joseph Walker, Jeremiah Kuhn, which is Prince Johnson president, with what do you call that name? What do you call King Kong? With those people in the corner, then what's the difference?
So you would prefer to even give a vote to CDC than that?
I would not vote for CDC. I won't vote for CDC.
You abstain from the process.
I will not vote for CDC. I cannot vote for Joseph Walker. With those people around Joseph Walker and what he had done, it's telling me that he's not sincere in his dealing.
This seems to be
voting for Joseph Walker. Voting for Joseph Walker is voting for Prince Johnson. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, man.
Yes, I can do it.
All right. Let's wrap it this evening here. I think the tension is getting high. 1 minute each. Terry, I was inside Liberia. This is very serious and it's deepened on a daily basis. The ANC and that of the Unity Party, and that is playing in the narrative of the CDC. CDC think they can cut through the corridor. If you listen to ANC supporters, their surrogates, their talking heads, their tone not conciliatory. In 27 days, their tone is not appealing to say, hey, when we get to this place here, this is how we want to do it. And they are very definitive, they are very vehement into their argument. And so CDC is looking at it. And this is where the CDC is playing. Say, see, these people here. Now, when you enjoy, we are sometimes when you try to see the people who say they want to come to rescue. Now, this is serious. How dangerous or who is this thing going to play in the favor of CDC if it remains like this? If boycott and Cummings cannot meet in the dying minute to smoke some sort of political peace pipe, CDC might get a favor of that.
Certainly, and Mr. George, Pat George, that answered the question for you right there, and he answered it. We're all even knowing that he answered the question, and we're all even knowing that he confirmed what I just said about the ANC people. If you knowing very well and claiming on the network every now and then that Ambassador or President Weah is not good for Liberia, then you're telling us that if you were to vote, you won't vote for either or. Then it means that you have already voted. You have already voted, because if you don't vote, the person who have the highest vote is still going to win. And every time we see the ANC people bashing on the Unity Party people, let me tell you something. The ANC people don't know that Mr. Cummings is a businessman. There is one language of business people that they don't like. One thing they don't like to lavish money. They don't like to spend money unless it's for a just cause. That is why you see Mr. Cummings right now, he have regressed. He have digressed a little bit. And they are not paying attention to that. They're acting like to say, we don't know. We see it, we know. Because Mr. Cummings have already agreed to himself that this election he's not going to win. So he's going to brace himself and prepare for 2029. And I believe that the ANC people, I strongly believe that the ANC people will try to deny Ambassador Boyka if he end up in the second round and go with. And I believe that if President Weah is very smart, he could recover the mistakes he made by losing Jeremiah Kuhn and Prince Johnson to Ambassador Boyka. He could use Mr. Cummings, as which I believe they're doing now, to turn things around in his favor, even though I don't support it. But it might likely turn in his favor in the second round if Mr. Cummings do undercover endorsing, which I suspect he will. We must also understand that Henry Costa is vulnerable. Taylor Ure seems vulnerable. Mr. Ure seems vulnerable. Well, we all know that they are also going to support President Weah. Because they're all thinking the language
they try going down, but there are a lot of Star Wars of CDC. They don't have trust in him. They are rejecting him. They are made that crystal clear to their leader, but you never knows. Politics is there. But Mali Jones here, we are about to go. The Tire Suffering campaign or rally launched by the ANC, was that a wrong interpretation? Because and the president, he has a special, unique way to communicate with his base that tend to resonate in terms of what he says. It reflect or illustrate it, because the folks that were put the face of the Retire Suffering, visually, if you look at it, did not look like people who were really suffering. And that's what the president said. When the president said that, that's something that really went wide to his base and get us to be what we are. Was that a good strategy?
Well, from the communication standpoint, I think that was a feeble strategy. Feeble in the sense that people been suffering since 1847 in our country, logically. People been suffering, and people will continue to suffer. Even Joseph Boyka get there. People will still suffer. Okay? So I think they should have looked for a strategic issue to talk about that will resonate with the Liberian people. Because if the people that are going on the football field, you ask them, this man is suffering us. This country here is going the wrong direction. Why are you here? They will tell you, say, well, you are suffering. We are not suffering. And psychologically, some of them are really suffering. You see? So to me, that messaging, it did not resonate well for the opposition. It is implied that if you tell the people they're suffering, you should remember that it's not everybody suffering. There are some opposition people, they're really suffering.
The CDC
yes, they don't want to acknowledge.
They make Margaret out of Louis Brown and other folks and put there and begin to put that video out there. And the president, look at that man with somebody who's suffering. So when people see that visual communications is very effective, it has a way that it can connect with people. So I don't know whether it was a very good strategy.
No, it was not a very good strategy, to be very frank with you. But they just needed to use something, at least to create some awareness, but it wasn't a good strategy. It did not resonate to magnetize people from the CDC camp. It did not work. That strategy did not work. All right? But here is my take, as Joe always said. Cummings, Gongolo, Boakai, and Dr. Moluba will be held politically liable. I repeat, they will be held politically liable.
By whom?
If Joe Weah retake the executive mansion.
Right.
And I will give you that detail in subsequent time.
I agree.
But they will be blamed and they will be held liable if Joe Weah retake the executive mansion.
Okay, guys. The old man on the wall said,
Terry, but I just want to tell Terry, this notion.
Oh, you stay on Terry.
No, he came after he came to Mr. Cummings, attacking Mr. Cummings again that the CDC going to use him, he'll call a D. Mr. Cummings is not a Joseph Boyka. He has principles. Mr. Cummings is not a Joseph Boyka. Mr. Cummings has principles. He has value that he touched to his name. He don't go back on his words. He's an honest man. So if y'all lose the election, do not play ANC. But I can tell you, from me as an individual, why should I vote Joseph Boakai with Prince Johnson? Why should I do that? I cannot do it. And I just be honest. I didn't say the ANC cannot do it. I said,
So Terry,
that's my point.
Yeah.
But for you people, because of your dealing, this is why you're having problems.
And George has
your dealing. Waka is someone
I see you guys.
Waka is someone who starts people in the back. He used Costa and South Costa and destroyed Costa political career. He used Benina Yuri. This is the man. You heard Prince Johnson that he was supposed to pick Yomi Kanga. But he died Yomi Kanga because of Jeremiah Kuhn. You heard Prince Johnson. So
okay, guys, let's leave it at time. You know, Terry, can Boyka talk about war and economic chronicle with Prince in his backyard?
Certainly he can. You see, one of the things that Pat George will never understand, especially and with the ANC people, is that they see Ambassador Boyka to be that weakling and an old man who is sick and will not be able to do anything. He's ungrateful, blah, blah, blah. All stories that they cannot prove. Because somebody have the constitutional right to make a decision. We have discussed Burger Health here, you know, on the show. But let us not. Okay, I agree. But what I wanted to say is that, you know, you say the man is ungrateful. You're listening to what he named all the things. To be honest with you, that was the man's right. That his constitutional right to choose the VP he wanted. All right. And if you were in that position, you would do the same thing. Mr. Cummings went to Jeremiah Kuhn as well. He wanted Jeremiah Kuhn. He was unsuccessful. He gave Prince Johnson, the man that he cleaned. That is not correct. He gave him 50-something thousand to support his institution. So, you know, you cannot. First, you saying that Mr. Cummings is an honest, Mr. Cummings is an honest man.
There was a condition that money was there, and Prince Johnson said it.
Okay. You give it still. You give it. No, a war criminal that you claim is a war criminal. That you claim that stole the money to build his school.
Using charity.
You gave money to him and left other schools in Montserrat County without anything. But I don't want to dwell on that, Mr. Mr. So. But you yourself said a whole lot of things about my candidate. And I'm telling you, I'm giving you facts of what your candidate did to the very people that you claim that they are.
You just cutting a statement. You just cutting.
Okay,
let him make it point quickly. Let's not interrupt.
What I want to say is that politics is a different game, Mr. Pap George. Politics, what you think Mr. Cummings will not do as a businessman, he will do as a politician. You don't know him. So don't say, oh, Mr. Cummings is this, Mr. Cummings is that. There are several things Mr. Cummings has already done as a politician. Mr. Cummings went into the LP and destabilized the LP. You and I know that. Today, the LP is divided because of him. So politics can make people to change. So that is why I strongly believe that Mr. Cummings will support Underhand, they will support CDC. I can say this without thinking.
No,
that is why I said it's my opinion.
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, guys,
I have the right to that.
Let's close the chapter.
I just want to tell you that I know Mr. Cummings. I know him personally. So let me tell you, you don't know him.
Joyce, do not put your life on the line for somebody. Nobody gonna die. I'm not.
I know Mr. Cummings. I'm not saying.
When you say you know him, you know him how?
I met Mr. Cummings before. I had talked to him, but I'm not saying there's no man is infallible. Okay, right. I can say that and say someone is 100% no. But when he said I don't know him, then now I want to ask him, what do he mean by that? I don't know him. What do you mean by that?
I mean, as a politician, Mr. Cummings is a businessman. You know him on the level as a businessman. You just getting to know him as a politician.
No, you got it wrong. My name, my signature is on a document I created ANC in Atlanta. So you don't know.
Does he get your consent when he making political decisions?
No, he's a political leader. He doesn't have to get consent. He can talk. He can
So
take
then, why would you want to put your life on the line for him?
No, I'm not putting my
All
life
of you see,
on.
you guys, all of you guys are gambling. You're protecting your own alligators.
Mr. So, you're missing the point here. I would not come. I never came on the. I would not come on the panel and say Mr. Comey is 100% is a sinner. I never said it before. But when he said I don't know him politically, then I said no, because the document I created, the ANC, I'm single joy to it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that.
Hold on, Mr. So. When you say you don't know this person, I said, Mr. So, you don't know this person, and you have met this person.
So let me ask you a question. Is that coming or the institution's philosophy, political ideology you were subscribing to?
Oh, it's both, because I have to know what I'm dealing with before I can subscribe to any ideologies. I don't just get and jump behind someone that I don't have no confidence in or trust in before I go and do something. No, I have to know you personally and what you believe in. So that's why.
Okay, can I ask you a question,
I just want to tell Mr. Collins.
Ask 1 second, 1 minute, so we'll go quick.
Yeah. Did you listen to Mr. Comey's interview on the closing argument? Because for me, I listened to most of you guys don't listen to our own candidates, but I can listen to. He said something. He said, Liberia. I think they're asking a question about Liberia, about the corruption and all of what is going on. He said, you have to meet the country to where it is before you can take it from where it is to carry it to where you want to go. Do you understand? You understood what that meant?
No, tell me.
Anyway, let's save it for another time because we're already out of time.
Amos Joy from Atlanta, Georgia.
How long you been known Joseph Boakai for?
We are closing the chapter for this evening. We're going to leave it on Friday and see whether we can give your doxy, how you know Boakai and how you know Cummings and all of that. So yeah, well, anyway, when y'all get there at the end of the day, at least either Boakai, Cummings, and our man says where he said Gonglo somehow will be a commentator. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for your time this evening. Good to be back here, and thank all of you so much for hanging in there and doing the work of our people. Yes, of course, people will agree, people will disagree with us, but what we strongly believe, we don't come here necessarily to tell viewers, listeners, what they intend to hear. We try to do the best we can, provide the information that we have. They are at liberty to check and fact check this information, but not necessarily to play into their own soundbite or the hope, oh, I'm coming here and so we're going to buy more. No, that's not what we do. So sometimes the conversation get dicey with one another, but yet instead they are good followers. They are still here. We'll learn from them. We'll go back to their tweets, their engagements, their comments. They help us to enhance our capacity in making news fair, balanced, and proportional. Guys, thank you so much, Terry. You are the man. Thank you so much. Amos George. Yeah, and we hope to be back here. Folks, all of you will say thank you so much for your time this evening. Bye-bye. Okay, so it is what it is. All of these people, they are protecting their own alligators. And I have said this over and over. Everybody feels their candidate is doing the right thing. No one is willing to make that political sacrifice. I've never seen that before. They don't want to consolidate. They have one thing in common, that they do not want this president. Okay, if you do not want this president, what can you do? Or what extra do you have for the replacement? That message is not been really forthcoming. I'm not sure why it's not resonating, but the president and the CDC folks, they have managed to define these people and also put this sort of argument. All they are doing is hate. And that's resonate with ordinary, typical Liberians, because he had put himself in that category. And so there are certain things the president would do. He gets away with it. Cummings can't do it. Boakai would never do it. Tiawan Gonglo would never do it. So they need to find their rightful tone, their rightful argument that suits their own political argument with the Liberian people, with the electorates. Other than that, it will be like a losing battle. We are waiting to see what will be the outcomes of this reported drug bust or accused of the chief of protocol to the president of the Republic of Liberia. We hope, and GOL will have a press conference and want to see previous statements coming from the directorate, or what going to be coming out from the Ministry of Justice of the Republic of Liberia. Until then, 27 days to go. Liberia will decide. It's a decision day in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia on October 10th. We will be monitoring those developments. This is a bidding that has been heavily contested. I am Alfonso Z, and so thank you so much and have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.